for Republicans to do town halls in their districts. They're getting booed, they're getting jeered at, and they're getting, quite frankly, substantive questions even from Republicans, not because Republicans have had some sudden awakening, but because Republicans are starting to see in their paychecks, in their grocery bills, in their household budgets, in their electrical bills, that the promises that Donald Trump made simply aren't coming to fruition. We're going to start today with a video of Republican Congressman Barry Moore being asked the question, who pays the tariffs? Who pays the tariffs? He doesn't answer the question, but you start hearing chanting from the audience. Who pays the tariffs? Who pays the tariffs? It is a simple question to answer. The American companies doing the importing pay the tariffs. And sometimes they pass that cost along to the consumer, meaning you, meaning me. It's the reason why my coffee beans are now $18.50 instead of $15.50. Okay, let's take a listen. And this is the hostility that they're getting hit with more and more.
They want to know who pays the tariff. Is it consumers or the exporting country?
So right now, what we just saw in the report is that we haven't seen inflation at all. If y'all saw the report,
that was the question. That wasn't the question.
So if there was inflation, you would see it. Can I at least tell you about the tariffs?
No, tell us who pays it. And then you're gone.
There's a couple things you need to know about tariffs, but do y'all realize that after World War II, the Marshall Plan coming out of
Remember, the question was who pays the tariffs? He's talking about World War II.
World War II said, okay, Germany and Japan, in order to help you rebuild, we're not gonna, you can sell your cars in America, but we're not gonna force U.S. autos to sell into foreign countries. And so that's why when you go to Berlin, Germany, you do not see a General Motors product. When you go to
And of course, the audience is really concerned with what they do and don't see when they go to Germany, as they ask, who's paying the tariffs? Why is Trump making stuff more expensive?
Japan, you do not see in Tokyo, you don't see Fords, but you see Mercedes. It's been going on a long time.
So who pays the tariffs? What's the question?
So Trump asked Merkel, the Chancellor of Germany, he said, why is that? She said, I don't know. If nobody's ever asked the question, and so we'll start seeing, as we just cut the taxes on all the new cars, the interest on the taxes that you're going to get a tax credit on any new cars you buy. That helps the auto industry in Alabama because we got
So the question continued, who pays the tariffs? And this didn't go well. One of the difficulties of running a campaign on incoherent economic policy that even the candidate doesn't understand is that it puts other people in positions of having to defend the impossible. How do you bring prices down with an import tax? Economists look at it and say, sir, that doesn't make any sense. Consumers look at what they're paying and they go, that doesn't make any sense. And then you put members of Congress, in this case, Barry Moore, in the position of having to explain something that he quite literally cannot explain. Now, he could just say, well, the importer pays the tariff, and in the short term, it might be passed on to the consumer. But we believe that over the long term, this is actually going to make our economy more robust, and it's going to increase national security. But things are going to cost more. We'll be more secure because of it, but it's going to cost more. That would be the truth. But they can't do that, because if they do that, they admit that Trump's been lying about the entire thing. We then have another example. It's happening at every single one of these. Here is Republican Mark Alford from Missouri, and he held a town hall, and a soybean farmer just lights him up.
I realize, as regarding tariffs, people on both sides of the fence on this. However, I mean, the tariffs did have an effect on this, regardless of whether you support them or not. You know, Brazil is now China's top exporter of soybeans, or they import soybeans. And our pork exports to China have dropped like 35% or something like this. Okay, and you talked about the importance of agriculture. In all honesty, these markets are never coming back. You're right. You know, they were one of our top customers. You talked about being in business. You don't kick out your top customer. So how do you, what do you tell farmers in your district that, guys, these markets aren't coming back? And yeah, we can import or export a little something to Mozambique or someplace like that, but they're not going to make up what we've lost to China. So what do you tell the farmers who are losing their farms, or we have low prices because?
So listen, the honest answer for a lot of these farmers, because they mostly voted for Trump, just statistically based on where they are. Not all of them, but statistically as a group, they mostly voted for Trump. What you've got to tell the farmers is you fell for Donald Trump's lies. You fell for Donald Trump's lies. And now there are consequences to that. You could have looked at the other candidate. You could have looked at Kamala Harris. You would be selling more under Kamala Harris because we wouldn't have these tariffs and we wouldn't have the current circumstances that we have today. The problem for these Republicans, the reason they can't say that is they supported Trump's policies. If you have a Democrat and they go, hey, listen, we're having a problem on the soybean farm. The Democrat could go, I know. We told you were going to have this problem. Kamala Harris told you we were going to have this problem. And you voted for Donald Trump anyway. So this is going to be clearly a growing trend. We're going to see more of these Republicans being lit up at the town halls. Some of the Republicans, like Elise Stefanik, they don't even want to do town halls. She spoke publicly the other day, was booed off the stage twice. So they're going to have a problem, and it's a problem that they have earned themselves. Ridge is doing something huge right now, running a sweepstakes where two winners will get their choice of a $300,000 Lamborghini Huracan Sterrato, a $150,000 Hennessy Velociraptor, or $100,000 in cash. It's now through September 15th. Every dollar you spend at ridge.com/Pacman gets you one entry. If you've been thinking about upgrading your wallet or key case, this is a great time to do it. There is also a no purchase necessary way to enter, which you'll see on the page. I've used Ridge wallets for years. Mine is slim. It fits into your front pocket. It holds 12 cards plus cash, also blocks RFID, and it's built from materials like aluminum and carbon fiber, lasts for years and years like it's done for me. They also make great travel gear like weatherproof luggage with 360-degree spinner wheels and built-in tracking. To enter the sweepstakes, just go to ridge.com/Pacman. The link is in the description.